Good morning. Okay, for today we are going to be doing two different things. They're both a little bit time consuming, but I think it's a good skill set. We are going to be roasting jalapeno peppers, cleaning them and dicing them up. And we're also going to be practicing our knife skills by doing bâtonnet French fries. So your mise en place today is going to be a container full of jalapenos. There's going to be anywhere around 6 to 8 depending on size. You're going to have a container with at least 3 potatoes. I may end up having to do more, it just depends on time and quantity. You're going to have an empty container that you're going to fill with water. This will be for your finished potato cuts, so your bâtonnets. And then we have a empty container with a lid, and this is what we're going to use when we're roasting our peppers. Now the empty container from your potatoes, that'll be used for scraps, and the scraps today should only really be a peel. I'm going to show you how we're going to use the entire potato. So we are going to peel the potatoes, so you're going to need a peeler, and then the peels will go into an empty potato container, and then all of your fries will go in the one with the water. The container that has your jalapenos is where we're going to put our finished diced roasted jalapeno peppers. So depending on what kind of stove you have, actually, you know, if you're in the classroom in the afternoon, you're going to have either a gas stove. It's going to be 1 per group today, or we have the regular burner stoves. So you are going to need a peeler, you are going to need a set of tongs, you're going to need a chef knife, and you're going to need a scraper. So to kind of demonstrate the process for what you're going to do things, if you are using the stovetop, you're simply going to turn the stove on, and you're going to take your jalapenos with your tongs, and you will go ahead and set them on there. You can probably do about 3 at a time. If it's the stove, remember, we want to make sure that the notch is at the 12 o'clock position. We want to pull the lever down, and then we want to click it on, and it'll work very much the same way. And in some ways, interestingly enough, the small stoves work almost more efficiently than the other, the big ones, but they all work just fine. So you want to hear that crackling noise, you want to kind of get them set, and then you want to rotate them. What we're looking for is a jalapeno that I cannot tell what color it is. So we want to try to keep it 95% black. So it's going to require you to kind of rotate it, and you can kind of see it's going to take about 4 or 5 full turns before we get it to where we want. You can do 2 or 3 at a time, just depends. So if it falls in there, you can grab it. Remember, you can always turn the stove off if it falls in there. But you and your partner can alternate. What we're doing. So we're going to process that. Once we've allowed our jalapenos to fully char, we're going to set them in your empty container here, and we are going to sweat them. So as you pull them off of the stovetop, you can throw them in here. Once they're in here, we're going to let them set for about 10 or 15 minutes. And that'll be a perfect time for you to start peeling your potatoes. What I don't want you doing is having one person peeling potatoes while another person is doing the peppers. I want everyone doing all the steps together because it's timed out that way, and I want everyone to have a chance. So as we peel our potatoes, we're going to take our peels. Now, I'm looking for about 98% if you need a number for the cleanliness of the potatoes. So you see how that's about 98%. Going to kind of keep our area clean. So we're going to square them off just on one side. Okay, and now this one piece, I can actually turn it into what I like to call a natural fry. So we'll throw those in there. And then we're going to do our 1/4 inch planks. So I just did one side today. And that will give it, so I have the round one at the end. We're going to cut these into a batonnet shape and size. Stack about 2 or 3 of them up. And so forth. And I'll have a bucket, so if you fill your bucket up, you can simply refill it. But we want to keep the potatoes submerged so that they do not turn brown. So as you can see, no scraps. Just turn these real quick. So again, we are not going to start the fries until you're sweating all of your jalapenos. Okay? So make sure that you aren't skipping ahead too much. What I want to make sure is, you see how it's a white ash right there? That white ash is too much. I don't want to see you guys get to that point. That will start burning a hole through the flesh. We just want to get the outer layer of the flesh, not the whole thing. So try to avoid the going all the way to that white ash. All right, so once these have been sweating through your potato process, we're going to come back to them. And they're still going to be hot, but what we're going to want to do is, you can take your knife and you see how I just easily scrape. I want to try to get about 90%. You're not going to get every last bit, but the better you char it and the longer you sweat it, the easier it's going to be. Now these are for Chef Black, so he requested us to do them a certain way, and the way he would like us to do it is what I'm going to show you. So this one is good to go. It's got a little bit of black on there, not the end, but notice I haven't cut anything off yet. It's important though to keep your cutting board and your cutting surface clean, because of the char, which you can actually throw into your waste bucket. You want to try to keep it clean, and you can use your sanitation towel to kind of keep the black off. Now, Chef Black has requested that you hold on to where the stem is, and we're simply going to, almost like an onion, you see how I cut 2 strips, but they're still connected at the very end. And then we're going to go ahead and do probably about a 1/2 inch dice. And then when you get to the stem, we're going to throw that off into our garbage. Okay? So this is going to go into our empty jalapeno container, seeds and all, and you're going to fill that up. And it's going to have a really nice aroma. So I'll do one more just to demonstrate. You would take your knife, and again, the importance to this, and you'll have your sanitation towel to keep your hands clean, is I would recommend that you do all of the peeling first before you start dicing it, because you want to try to keep as much of the black off of there. And of course your hands are going to get a little nutty too. So we're going to keep it connected where the stem is. I'm going to make 2 cuts, keep it connected, and then I'm just going to do my 1/2 inch, seeds and all. I'm going to throw the stem in with my garbage, my scraper, like that. So at the end of your lab, you're going to have containers with fresh cut fries. You're going to have a container with trash that's going to have the char, the stems, and the peels. And then you're also going to have a container of roasted jalapenos that are diced up. And then we'll, of course, clean up and have a great weekend. Okay?